that AI is humanist technology. We have to keep reminding people that. And what we mean by humanist technology is that you interact with it like you interact with a human because it operates like a human. It doesn't mean it is human. Two specific things about AI. One, we have to understand, and it should be preached more. I certainly like to stand on the hill and preach it, but it certainly should be preached more from the tech side, that AI is humanist technology. We have to keep reminding people that. And what we mean by humanist technology is that you interact with it like you interact with a human because it operates like a human. It doesn't mean it is human, but it operates like a human.
Humanist.
It's humanist, right?
Humanistic.
What's important about humanist technology is it's not Google search, right? Google search is where can I find pizza? Even though that is a form of AI, it is not generative AI. Generative AI, which is what all of the, whether you're talking about robotic learning or machine learning, it's all generative, meaning you have to put information into it. It takes that information and dissects it and then spits out an answer for you based on how you communicate with it. And that communication has to be the same way that you communicate with a human being, right? So you have a conversation with AI. So instead of you saying something like, what's the closest pizza place to me, or when did pizza originate? You say, I'm curious about the crust of a pizza and its originations in Italy and America. Can you track for me or help me understand how the making and ingredients of crust has evolved over the past 100 years? See how that's more of a human, that on one hand, we have to continue to do that. But on the other hand, instead of us assuming we know how AI works because we either watch movies or listen to something on social media, which is muddying the waters of what things actually are, we should help educate, particularly if you are an educator in the K through 12 space, how to interact with humanist technology, understanding because you don't naturally know how to learn, and you don't naturally know how to inquire to receive the correct information. Those are skills you have to develop, which is one of the reasons why we have to take science, because science is going to teach us the scientific method, is going to teach us inquiry, right? So we can understand how to put the words together to find a solution to the problem. And so I think it's really important that the humanist technology should be talked about more, as well as the learning how to operate it more, because it is also falling into the muddy space of the lowest common denominator, the lowest hanging fruit, the animalistic, like what you were saying earlier about the guy that quit. That is what is happening with AI. There's this term right now called AI slop that everybody is using. And that is what AI slop is. AI slop is people going, oh, I'm just going to create it to create a monster that's going to represent the countries of the world. And I want to make, what's another one I've seen? What would Naruto characters look like as real life people? And it's all just the lowest. Like if you're thinking I'm going to take a music video and I'm going to make a music video off of AI, off of my likeness, like that's the lowest.
Right.
You're doing the same thing that guy wanted to do, that came to your gym, that was like, I just want to kick some ass.
Yeah.
That's essentially what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to have real conversations about even something like AI, or being able to decipher whether or not something is real or not, or understanding the skill set or tool set behind it, or what it's for, when the waters are so muddy.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes for a very complicated society.
It does. I don't think that the powers that put these things together either have the best interest of what they claim that their end goal is.
Yes.
They are saying one thing, but they're building in a different way.
Yes.
For example,
Mm-hmm.
one of the articles I found, which I thought was pretty insightful, but it was how the gist of the article is how AI LLMs are sort of undermining this promise of an AI enlightenment, right?
Say more.
So we're kind of promised the thing they're selling is like AI is going to change your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're going to just start making millions of dollars.
Okay.
You're gonna build a little AI thing and it's gonna make you money.
Okay.
Print money while you sleep. Let the brain do it. Like that's kind of the promise, right? Like
Yes.
make your job. You can just come in and be like, AI, do my job, and it'll just start doing your job.
Mm-hmm.
But they have not. Well, I mean, that's impossible, first of all. But they're sort of not living up to these promises. And I'm pushing it way out there, but they're not living up to these promises because what they've built is a thing that sort of like flatters you.
Yeah.
It's wrong most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they talk about AI hallucinations,
Mm-hmm.
it's not hallucinating. It's
No.
just giving you the wrong results.
Yes. That's all. Again, it's generative. So it's
Well,
only
I used it. Let me give you an example.
Yeah,
I used it. I had a project. I had the state of South Carolina,
mm-hmm.
and I needed to make like a image map. So the state of South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
you got the counties, and each county I needed to click on the county to link to a county page on a website.
Sure.
So I was like, let me see if I can get AI. Let me see if I can get this thing to make one for me.
Mm-hmm.
All
What platform are you using?
That was ChatGPT.
Okay.
5.0. It's like I just want an image, the state of South Carolina, where I can click on each county.
Mm-hmm.
I can make that. I've for years been doing this business for 25 years. I can make a fucking South Carolina click map.
Right.
But I was like, let me just see what it can do.
Yeah.
And it did. Like it went out, found a map that was pretty good, and then proceeded to label the counties completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It had like, Greenville down near Charleston, it had Charleston in the middle of the state. It was just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, cool. The map looks good, but all the links are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, you're so right. That was a great catch.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
And then it proceeds to blick, 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 and it spits it back out, and it's even more wrong.
Yeah.
Now the counties aren't even shaped like the counties in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And they're still wrong.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, even worse. Let's try this again. Yeah. And it responds with, that's a great catch. You're really good at this. Yeah. Let's see what we can do. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of conversation is this? If you were having that conversation with a person, after the first time, you'd be like, get the fuck out of my office.
Again, humanist.
You are fired.
Not human.
Right.
And it only can generate based on the input that it's given.
Yep.
Meaning by the user, meaning you typing on the keyboard, and the information that it has access to inside of it, the AI brain and whatever AI that is using. And so, again, going back to my point about the user being able to be educated around how to pull the best information out of it. That's an education that is wrapped around that. It's not something you're going to know intuitively. And it goes back to what you said before about the creators of platforms like Chat or VO or any of them. Yeah. We have treated all of these technological advances as convenience technology.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is going to make your life more convenient.
Yeah.
And the ease of use is so easy. We don't even have to teach you how to use it. We're just going to give it to you. Right. And my argument as a media literacy educator has been probably since maybe 2000, at least 2013, has been the manufacturers of the technologies. If the education system can't have an education distribution system to the American or the world or the tech buying public about how to use these platforms. And as the manufacturer, it is your duty. And what is happening and has been happening is tech companies, in my argument, keep treating new technologies like the radio, right? Like a car radio. Like, you know, it has a button right there that says power.
That's it.
You turn it on, turn the volume up.
Yeah.
Antenna.
Yeah.
You just go FM, AM.
Right.
And then boom. You got it, baby. You got it. And then,
Yeah.
you know, you just, you know, press CD to press the CD. Skip, track, Bluetooth, right? That's how we've treated it. However,
you're right.
The tech of today, one of the reasons why we have my argument, I should say, one of the reasons why we have so much AI slop, for instance, is because that education part is missing. So AI slop happens because people are treating it like radio.
Yeah.
I just cut it on, change the station, click CD, antenna, boom. Look at this awesome thing I have. I have a artist that's performing songs. Isn't this amazing? No, it's not fucking amazing. Like it's not amazing at all.
Also, it's already been done.
And you know, it makes me think about a conversation I had with some friends of mine. And I felt like an idiot after I thought about it. I mean, we were having this conversation about politics and government, and like I'm a staunch believer. Here we are going back to politics again. But I'm a staunch believer in if someone is going to run, if someone's going to do anything, mechanic, martial arts expert, run a gym, video editor, I don't really care. You just need to have training in that thing that you've done. Right. So I'm not a fan of voting for politicians that have not had any community organizing experience. I don't think it makes sense. Like if you have not had community organizing experience, why are you running for politics? Because it literally puts you in the position of a community organizer. Yeah. And if you don't know how to take care of a situation when you have 14 different families and 14 different situations, somebody is poor, somebody is rich, somebody has money for your campaign, somebody that doesn't, somebody that is dealing with a health issue, and they all are asking you about a stoplight in the neighborhood, or they're all asking you about traffic, or they're all asking you about when we're going to get grocery stores. If you've never had to navigate that before, then you don't know, you're not going to be prepared for politics. And I think that whatever someone is getting into, they should have some sort of experience and education around it. And either that needs to be, whether it is someone that's voluntarily doing it or is paying for it, the access to it should be there. And this is my argument when it comes to manufacturing companies and tech. And it's like, we went from iPhone, we went from BlackBerry to iPhone to Google search to social media to being able to ride share, gig economy, all of these technologies that allowed you to interact with people, to provide services for you all through a digital device, to the cloud, to now AI, right? And nowhere along any of those lines, not one time, whether you're talking about Apple, whether you're talking about, I forgot the company that owns chat, I forgot to name them. Any of these companies, none of them, Meta, OpenAI, no one has ever said, here's the education platform for the public to teach you how to use this thing. No. We only said, would you like to buy an iPhone? We're going to set it up for you. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a radio.
You find out about features in the iPhone like secondhand through people showing you, hey, you seen this new feature? And you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. Too bad they didn't fucking tell me about it.
Nobody told you that. Yeah. And it's got so many features.
Yeah, right.
And I feel like that should be, not only should that be someone's responsibility, to be quite honestly, I feel like it's criminal to not have it. And this is why I keep pushing for, with every platform that I get.
Well, there damn sure isn't any regulation around it.
There's no regulation. And this is why I keep pushing for regulation. It's because a government's function, the function of a government, is the common good. And I was speaking earlier about this conversation I was having with my buddies, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, man, we were having this discussion about, whether or not somebody should run for office and what are the qualifications. I was thinking to myself, we could have just used chat. I didn't have to argue my point. I could have just went to chat, talked to it like a human, and say, Chad, I want to ask you, what are some of the top 5 character traits that makes a great, effective politician, particularly in America over the last 25 years? Yeah. And you know what it would have told me? Community organizing, right? I wouldn't have to argue my point. It would have gave me links and everything. But this is where we are. Again, I'm illustrating that point to illustrate a larger point. This is where we are when it comes to tech. Mm-hmm. We're not using it for the purposes that it was created. That allows us to grow, expand our knowledge base, our information base, our ability to function, our ability to get a task accomplished faster, our ability to scale. Yeah. We don't use it in that way. We use it like a radio. And part of that responsibility should be on the manufacturer. And I think the other half of that responsibility should be on the governing body of that. Whether you're talking about state, country, whatever it is, should be on the state.
Some of it should.
Not on the user, because the user is unfortunately being treated by the manufacturing companies as dollars.
Well, it's
not being treated as
another great article, I think, plays your point.
Not informed users of the tech.
Not at all. It was called The Last Days of Social Media. And what the article was talking about was that with social media like Facebook and Twitter and stuff, what we were promised was an ability to truly connect with each other.
Yes.
Right. And in the early days of Facebook, and even some to degree, I can know what this person that I went to college with 20 years ago is doing, who lives in Dallas, Texas.
Sure.
I know about his divorce and his 2 kids and
what he ate last night,
messed up knee. And I like that.
Yeah.
But more and more, I can look at Facebook and I will see like first off, when I look at Facebook, I want to see your kid going to school at the beginning of the year. Sure. I want to see the Halloween costumes.
Yep.
I want to see your dog.
Yeah.
I want to see your family. I want to see that.
I want to get updated on your life. Sure.
And early on, we have that. Mm-hmm. But anymore, it's just politics, bullshit, ads, bullshit, politics. And
it's
all the things, and it's all the things I hate.
Spectacle.
Yeah, and it's just now it's just engineered for consumption. Like you're saying, just like the radio. The radio is passive. So more and more of these things are just being put in front of you for passive utilization so that you can scroll until you would drool and pass out at night.
Yep.
And there's no real conversation.
None. Because users are being treated like, man, I hate to sound so dystopian, but we're being treated like batteries.
Yeah.
We're being treated like
also
dollars.
Think that's why whenever you see actual conversation, it's negative, it's arguing.
Right. Because it turns into spectacle. Because again, going back to the example you gave earlier about the guy that quit after 2 months.
Yeah.
Because all people want to do is kick some ass.
Yeah.
Right. Because you don't, but that thinking is based on an ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
How do you combat ignorance? Is education.
Okay.
Education to combat ignorance. So then you have to ask, well, who's responsible for the education?
Yeah.
Right. Someone has to be responsible for educating the public on these tools. And that either is going to fall on the manufacturer or that's going to fall on a governing body.
Yeah.
And
it's probably both.
Yeah. And again, to some extent, yeah, because I go back to that, the guy that quit. You have the governing body, which in this case is going to be Gene, right? Or you have, you're more like the manufacturer, right? Because he's coming to your gym. The governing body are the rules that Gene plays by, right, that says, here are the things you have to do to be able to achieve. Those are regulations.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? One or two of those things is going to say, here's what you have to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm either going to be responsible as the person that owns the gym, or I'm going to be beholding to the rules and regulations of being able to achieve this goal. But the best ones are both.
Right.
And we don't have that when it comes to technology.
We don't.
And it is continuously even more concerning for me as someone that understands how far we've gotten and how messy things have gotten without a great partnership of public and private when it comes to regulation in the tech and social media space.
Yeah.
And it is the reason why we have so much cosmic slop. It's the reason why we have so much division in this country. It's the reason why we have so much division in countries around the world. I was watching this interview with I cannot remember her name right now. She's an amazing activist out of the Philippines that was locked up for her activism in a dictatorship.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember her name at the moment.
This was a few years ago.
Yes, yes, it was. And I was watching her on an interview talk about all of the division that's happening around the world and how authoritarian regimes are kind of running Earth right now, and how so much of that is contributed to devices. But it's not what I wanted to jump up in the interview and go, it's not the device.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
It's not even Facebook, right? All Facebook is doing is creating the cafe.
Right. It's
right?
us. It's us.
It's creating the cafe.
Yeah.
It is us. However, what is the responsibilities of the person that owns the cafe, Gene?
Mm-hmm.
If there is a conversation in that cafe about whatever disgusting argument that's happened, it's the onus of not only the cafe but also the rules of that community to come together and say, hey, these are the things you cannot do in my establishment, and then the governing body is going to say, here's the things you can't do in this community. So you can't be having this kind of fight in my establishment, dude. You got to get out of here. And that does not exist. And for whatever reason, there continues to be pushback against the existing, which I don't understand, especially when it could, like, AI could actually make us a better functioning human society. Like, it could. Think of, for all of the things that I dislike about MAGA, and there's a long list of how much they can be informed if they were educated around just the use of a platform like ChatGPT.
I know.
They could find the answers to every single thing and track them and trace them for hundreds of years. Like, you won't have to take somebody's word for it. You won't have to listen to that YouTube channel, that guy that just wants to slam dunk on somebody with all this hate mongering, which is what they like to see. They like to see spectacle. And it takes me back to what you were saying again about the guy that just wanted to kick some ass. Like, when you have that lowest common denominator, and no one is telling that guy, hey man, you can't do that. Yeah. Because here's the other reality. In today's social media space, that guy can just go find the people like him that just want to kick ass.
Of course.
And now he's like, fuck Gene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he don't
and
know
everything that he represented.
He don't know
now I got this whole tribe of people, which is how we get this whole flat earth thing.
Yep. That is how we get flat earth.
We got this whole tribe of people that are now like, fuck all those science guys. We've done our own science.
Don't piss off my audience.
We have our own virtues. We made up our own virtues.
So
what about ambition, Father?
You brought up MAGA, but like recently the president on his social media, he put out an AI generated video of Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not.
Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero, and Schumer is literally like their AI is making him say a different script.
Slop.
It was AI generated slop. I feel like the likeness not illegally, because you can do whatever you want, but like using the likeness of someone else without their consent would be a really great place to start.
Yeah, it's already a crime.
And you can EFT technology. Did I say that right? NFT. EFT. NFT technology and things like that could be used. I think it could be used.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
To verify whether you've given someone permission or not.
But again, a governing body has the pressure of tech companies to do that.
They do.
And which is why
this governing body has turned them loose.
When I was having this discussion with my buddies, I was saying, I remember we were having this discussion about the function of government and the function of business. Regardless of your opinion, right? Regardless of anyone's opinion, there are truths and facts, regardless of your opinion. The government has a function. A governing body has a function, and the function is the common good. That's the entire function of a governing body. Whether it is handled correctly or incorrectly, the function remains the same. The function of a business is to turn a profit. Whether you do that to do good or do bad, ultimately, if you're not turning a profit, you're not
going to exist.
Business, right? So that is the general function of each. And understanding how these two things function will, I think, create, if we can continue to have these conversations, can create the space for these two things to be able to operate together, particularly when you're talking about the tech space. And I think it's really, we're really in a really weird, awkward time where, for whatever reason, when it comes to technology, and because, and I've said this before on your platform, when it comes to the internet, human beings are like 13-year-olds, right? We're just kind of just doing whatever we want to do. We just want to kick some ass. You know what I mean? We want to dunk on somebody on a post, and we want to scroll for hours, and the platform is letting us do that without anyone or anything or anybody coming in to say, we got to have some rules in the space. Just like any other space that we play in as a public society.
We have
going back to that example of the cafe. There's something, you can't go into a cafe and yell fire.
Yeah. You can't start a fight with someone.
Can't start a fight with someone.
You can't. I mean, maybe some cafes you could, but if you walk into a cafe and pop open your laptop and start watching porn, they're going to ask you to get out of there.
Ask you to leave. It reminds
me. There are social norms.
Yes. And they're also,
why do they apply online?
Common rules. Like it's and that's the thing, Gene. They are fixable.
They are. It's pretty easy.
It's very easy, but you can't. And I think this is the point I was trying to get at earlier. You can't fix it if you're not putting pressure on the manufacturer to fix it.
Yeah.
Because the manufacturer is functioning like a business, and the function of business is profit.
Yeah.
And the more users I get on my platform, the more investors I'm going to have on my platform. And the more I can keep users on a platform, the more investors I'll have for my platform. It's a cycle, and it's based around business. They are not there for the common good, right? Which is why when the whole Cambridge Analytica thing came out with Facebook, and Facebook was sitting there with egg on their face, but that's how it started in the first place, because there's nobody regulating it. And all they're thinking about is, how can we use these users to make more money?
That's right. Yeah.
And it's really, it's slipping over. And I believe, I think I can factually back this up, has slipped over into our political discourse.
Oh, dude.
Which has made us so divisive, because now, not understanding where lines are, no one being able to control how far a flat earther can go.
Yeah.
Has now slipped over into someone like a Pete Hegseth creating some other warrior mindset, warrior ethos that doesn't have anything that people actually believe, follow, and champion. And it's like, how far are we going to go when it comes to how we're going to use these platforms to help, as opposed to injure and hurt the way that we function and operate in society? Yeah,
for sure. I want to
step down from my.
No, you're doing great. Tell me more. I want to talk about two things, and they might be interrelated. But the first one is like, how do I get there? Regulation of some kind, but terminally online people. Like, we know these people.
Yeah, sure.
And this is part 2 of a longer conversation, but we were talking about Charlie Kirk, and the guy who shot him was a terminally online individual.
Yes. And
just how much of, we were talking about the algorithm feeding you. I mean, I use the algorithm in quotes, like as a noun. I guess it could be.
It is.
But like,
technically
feeding you the things that you've trained it to feed you. If I like Star Wars, you look at my feed, it's going to be all Star Wars. But if I like
Naruto,
or if I hate,
yes,
that's what my feed's going to be full of. And if you're terminally online, you can become almost brainwashed.
Yes. Oh no,
to believe a certain point of view. Like, we got flat earthers and God knows what.
Then you find your tribe of people that are like you.
Yeah. And it turns out the guy was a furry.
I still don't even
It's
know
a whole
what that
tribe
is.
of people that he found online and stuff. But whatever, I'm not picking on that. But like that thing, terminally online people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's pair that up with the other terminally online people that I'm sure you read about, people who have AI girlfriends and boyfriends, and my AI wife.
Yeah.
I saw one that was like,
My
my AI wife
friend.
divorced me. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Even AI don't like you. But
Damn.
bro, if people are like becoming obsessed with it to the point of like saying chat's my girlfriend,
Yeah.
we got problems.
I mean,
We got problems.
So taking a step back.
There's more than one.
Oh, I would imagine there's way more than we could even imagine, right? Again, I was saying this on a podcast, some other guys. When the entry barrier is so low, and there is no regulation, and there is immediate scale and immediate mass. We're stepping into a territory that has incredibly chaotic outcomes. And at some point, we have to stop using the excuse of, well, it's the users, right? Because users are going to use. It reminds me, and I've talked about this before, I believe, in your platform, about speed limit. Right? If there are not regulations around the speed limit, are you going to leave it up to the users to decide how fast they want to drive on that street?
It's the Autobahn.
I mean, that's wild.
It's haunted.
Clearly. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to say it's the users, because the truth is, you take a platform like Facebook, which I'm always weird when people, they'll blame Mark Zuckerberg, but I'm like, actually, technically, Mark is right. It is the users that's causing this issue.
Yeah, but he ain't helping us.
However, he's not helping because he's using the users, and he's using their ability to do whatever they want to do to take advantage of that for profit, which is where the regulatory body, I think, has to come in. And I think it's a really, really, when we're at the place where people are having AI girlfriends, I mean, it just lets you know that nobody stepped in like Gene did and said,
get out.
Like, nobody stepping in to do that.
I bring that up. I wanted to get there too, but do you like movies?
I love
movies. Quoting a whole Gladiator series, but speaking of Commodus, how do you say his name?
Joaquin.
I always say it wrong. I have like it's not like probably a form of autism, probably, but like where I pronounce names and words how I've seen them spelled. I don't know if you do that. I can't stop myself. Joaquin Phoenix. Anyway, speaking of Commodus, Joaquin Phoenix, a movie, Her.
Yes, I love that movie. Fantastic movie. We're living it.
There are real cases of that, but the scene where I forget what it was. Like, he couldn't pay for the service anymore, and like he just fucking crashing out because his girlfriend's dead or whatever. But that was a funny scene. But maybe it wasn't supposed to be funny. But the whole thing behind that's Scarlett Johansson's voice in the movie.
Yes.
But then OpenAI later, we're picking on Zuck. I'm gonna pick on OpenAI because I do blame them for everything.
They're partially to blame.
Where they tried to make, I'm trying to remember the name, Sky, I think was the name of the OpenAI voice. They wanted it to sound like Sam Altman. I listened to this podcast where they're talking about it. Sam Altman was like obsessed with Scarlett Johansson's voice, which, if there's voices to get obsessed with, there are worse ones in the world. It's a good voice. And so he had got his people to make the Sky voice for OpenAI sound like Scarlett Johansson. And she sued the shit out of him.
As she should. She should. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, but you bring up a very...
She's like, I want to answer. Why the hell does that sound... But they asked her and she said, fuck no.
No, fuck no.
And they did it anyway and she sued the shit out of him.
Oh, she should. You bring up a very good point. one of the things I pulled out immediately from what you were saying just now was when you said Sam Altman was obsessed with Scarlett Johansson's voice. I was like, let's pull that out.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things that keeps getting overlooked when you're talking about any of these platforms is that they have creators. Right. And these creators are human beings.
Yeah.
And
they have the virtues and the flaws.
Has the virtues and the flaws of all, whether it's Marcus Aurelius or Commodus.
And they all want to win.
And they all want to win, but they also have wants and needs and desires and things they like. Yep. And they have biases. And
some are weirder than others.
Yeah. And that is one of the facts that I think is left out of a lot of these conversations about these platforms, is that many of these platforms are designed, pushed, egged on by personal character traits
100%
of the founders. We've seen this with Snapchat. We've seen this with Facebook. We've seen this with OpenAI. I mean, you can go down the line. And I think it's important. And again, this is no different than Fox or Nike,
right,
or Nestle or Hershey, right? These businesses, these entities, just like mine, the culture of OTR is shaped by me. Mm-hmm. So based on my biases and how I see the world, it's going to influence how the company interacts with society.
Absolutely.
It's the same way for these platforms. Mm-hmm. And I think this is one of the things that gets missed when we're talking about tech and regulation, is the historical misuse of power.
Yeah.
When it comes to how business owners culturally shape their companies. We would not have Fox News Network without the ideological standpoint of Ailes.
Right. It always comes back to Maximus and Commodus.
It always comes back. But it's true.
It does, bro.
Right? And so then you have to ask yourself, so who's regulating Ailes or Hershey?
No one.
You know, I was talking to, I was
they're billionaires.
Business Wars again. And I remember listening to the podcast of Hershey versus, I can't remember who it was versus. And I was listening to how Hershey moved to this place in Pennsylvania. I was like, man, we should make a Hershey town.
Oh, yeah.
And
they were like,
no, they did.
Oh, they did. Okay.
It actually exists.
That's right.
It's still around.
I was thinking of the Dungeons and Dragons town guy.
And they made a town, and he was like, we're going to put the factory here, and I'm going to build all the houses. So, you know, the factory workers won't worry about having anywhere to work, and they won't have to worry about where to go to school, because everything is kind of built around a factory. And everybody was like, oh, man, that's a great, fantastic idea. And I was like, what an idiotic idea. The reason why it's idiotic is everything is based around the profitability of the business.
Right. If the business is, something happens to that candy bar.
Detroit, do you want to speak up?
Yeah. That's a good point.
If you build people's livelihood around a profit functionality,
travel to any small town USA, rural small town, there's a derelict shell of an old factory.
You're going to suffer at the up and down of that business entity, because its focus is not the common good.
Yeah.
Which is the role of government.
That's right.
And you have to have some. These clear lines need to be drawn, and very similar to what Ta-Nehisi Coates was saying on Ezra Klein's podcast last night. Like, Gene has to continue to push the line and hold the line for the warrior mindset, real warrior mindset ethos. If somebody wants to come in his gym and become a black belt,
you have to.
So I think the same thing has to be done, whether you're talking about social media, whether you're talking about interacting with the internet, whether you're talking about interacting with technology.
Like 5 years ago,
gotta have somebody that's gonna tell
when you first 4 or 5 years ago, when I had you on for the first episode you were on, and you said internet regulation, I was like, get this motherfucker.
I did.
But I'm coming around, man.
Yeah, I mean,
especially the AI world.
It's the wild, wild west.
Bro.
And Gene, how is it still the wild, wild west 5 years later? It's still the wild, wild west?
The internet's been the wild west for 20 years, man. Ever since Al Gore talking about the information superhighway.
We should have back then. Someone should have came around and said, "All right, okay, so what's the speed limit? Like, if it's going to be the information superhighway,
you know,
what's the speed limit?"
I do want to talk about one more thing before we go.
That's a great clip.
It is. But I want this goes straight to AI. Well, okay. AI, porn, your first internet experience. Where are we going with this? Buckle up.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm excited now.
But one of the big reasons of like where I see the is the right word, legislation, or what's the word you keep using?
Regulation.
Thank you, God. Yeah. Regulation. Got porn on the brain. Regulation for AI in particular is using the likeness of other people.
Yes.
And there is a out of control rash of, you can just turn safe search off, type in whoever you dream of as an actress or actor and type naked, and you will get AI versions of that person.
100%.
That's fucked up.
This whole porn videos.
It's fucked up.
Yes.
That's a fucked up area.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about Al Gore, all the way back to my first, I'm talking the first time was like, we're like, whoa, email. Yeah. The very next time I was over at my brother-in-law's house and he had AOL on a computer, gateway computer. I was like, damn, this is cool. What can you do with it? He's like, well, I don't know, let's look. And we look, oh, there's a chat room. What's a chat room? Dialed up, popped in the chat room. It was like, I forget what the hell it was. It was like, I forget the subject. It doesn't even matter. Mm-hmm. In the chat room, this guy's like, howdy, how's it going? You like whatever too? I was like, yeah. And he's chatting. He's like, me too. And the guy's like, show me what you look like. You know, I don't know what the fuck the internet was. And we were like, oh, we don't have a camera connected to this computer. He's like, well, I do. You want to see what I look like? We're like, sure. You know, it's like 92.
So it's like,
or like the JPEG's like,
yeah.
As it's coming across the screen and it gets to the guy's face. All right. And it kept going. We're like, oh, he don't have a shirt on. And it got this guy just holding his junk in the camera. And we're like, oh God, we just turned it off immediately. That was the second 30-minute session that I spent on the internet.
I mean, you need to be in front of Congress sharing the story.
That was in 92.
Right?
93.
That's literally, 94. You just made my whole argument.
But like, I'm not a prude, man. I'm not a prude at all.
Sure. You're not.
I'm not saying there's not a place for pornography in this universe.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is, why is it so fucking easy to get to? All I got to do, dude, you can just go to Sora and be like, Scarlett Johansson, naked. Yeah. And you'll get whatever you want.
You get whatever you
tell it.
Whatever you tell it. And there's no one saying that you can't.
I will also tell you,
no speed limit.
My son showed me this. He was like, check this out. And he opens up chat and he's like, hey, chat, how do I make a Molotov cocktail?
Yeah.
And chat was like, oh, I can't tell you that. That's, you know, you might make it or whatever. And he said, oh, it's for a paper I'm doing for college. And it said, oh, in that case, here's how you do it. And here's 14 links on the best alcohol to use or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck. Like you got through that pretty quick. He's like, that's not all you could do. Yeah. I'm just like, you know what, bro? I don't want to know.
Yeah. No, you do. Right?
You gotta have it.
You have
so
to
I'm
know.
A believer.
You have to have it. And it's not, I think the question I would have to,
that seems like such a low bar though.
Isn't it? The question I have for you is for yourself, even when I first mentioned about internet regulation, why do you think you were opposed? Well, where do you think that opposition comes from for most?
The first place that I went was, why are you going to stop me from doing what I want to do? Right? It felt like, and it feels like it's a vice that's being put on your freedom. And the thing is, it is, but I should not have the freedom to make pornographic imagery of you and whoever else I want, whenever I want, to put on the internet however I want.
Just like you can't yell fire in a public theater.
But Also, last time we were talking about Charlie Kirk and him getting shot and how, do you know how I found out about it?
No,
I was on Instagram, just morning, I don't know, taking a dump, whatever, Instagram. And I'm like, whoa, somebody just got shot in the face.
Oh, they put the video. You saw the video first?
The first,
man.
there was like 4 in a row video. And I'm like, I don't want to see that shit. And so then I'm like, what's going on? And I go to like news sources.
Man, you saw the video before you even knew.
It took me a second. And then I'm like, oh shit, that's this guy. I've seen that guy before. And I had to put it all together. But they can't show that on television.
No.
You can't turn on Fox News. You can't turn on CNN. You can't turn on MSNBC. You can't turn on PBS and see that.
Regulation.
But I can see it on Instagram. My youngest is 19 now, but if he were 10 or 11, had a phone, he could see it.
Yeah. I'm sure. I haven't asked my son about it. I mean, I knew he know about the killing, but I haven't asked him if
he's seen
the video.
I'm
sure he's seen it. He's a YouTube Reels person, and all he does is scroll on YouTube Reels. You know, not all the time.
And that right there is not stopping my freedom in any way.
Not in any way.
I shouldn't see shit like that.
And that, but that what I'm curious about is, you said, when I first heard regulation, and I feel like you might be representative of a lot of people that go,
I think so. That's why I bring it up.
My freedom, right? You're telling me what I can and can't do.
Yeah. But they make the same argument about the seatbelt.
Yes.
And drinking and driving.
It was same argument
like
about
in the 70s.
Seatbelt.
It was like 70. I forget the year. Let's go with 72.
Yeah.
But they outlawed drinking and driving.
Yes.
And there's a video. You can look it up. There's a video of a guy they're like talking to. He's like, man, I don't know. I like to just like get a beer and drive on home and chill by the time I get home. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yes.
Like nowadays you'd be like, that's probably why you all died in the 70s.
Yes.
Drunk driving.
I mean, I forgot who.
Or helmets on motorcycles, whatever the fuck it is.
He actually ran for president that went to Congress with all those new regulations on cars for seat belts. And what was his name? He was like a Green Party, Ralph Nader.
Oh, yeah.
Ralph Nader. And I remember how the automotive industry was on his ass.
I know.
Like they were trying to kill him. He was getting death threats, and he was just like, yo, man, I'm just trying to save people's lives.
Yeah.
And again, each automotive company, particularly Chevrolet and Ford, knew. They knew about all the accidents.
Right.
They knew about all the deaths. They knew about all the murders.
Yeah.
But what's their function? Profit.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to be doing anything about these.
Damn sure ain't going to advertise this. Yeah.
Give me the notes and then put it on my desk. But I need you to get that next series of cars out by June.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you got this guy that is now seen as a whistleblower, all because he's like, yo, man, they've been knowing about all these deaths, but they're not telling us. And they don't care because it's not a part of the and I feel like most of what we're feeling as divisive, most of what one party in particular has taken advantage of when it comes to that division, and the fact that people love spectacle, which is one of the things that our president is very good at taking advantage of people enjoying spectacle, all is based around the freedom, if you will, to do whatever you want in the internet space. And just like seatbelts I think that was in the 50s.
Yeah, somewhere.
It might have been in the 70s, actually. I think that was in the 70s. Just like seatbelts, just like speed limits, just like letters on restaurants, just like USDA approving meat for eggs.
Yeah.
Like all of these things are necessary for the common
good. Yeah.
Good.
Well, it's in the document.
Because if we're gonna, it's in the, I don't know, maybe Constitution is what it's called, I think. Like, but this, I'm curious, like this reaction, this negative reaction to regulation, this, hey, you're stepping on my freedom. There's a podcast I'm gonna, it already came out, but I'm gonna put it out. I was on another podcast where we really got in a deep dive on that, and you could see the tension in the conversation. I'm like, oh, that's gonna make for a good podcast. I can't wait to share that one. I haven't really promoted it, marketed it yet, and I can't wait to. But it's one of those. It really for me highlighted like that feeling people have when it comes to what you were saying about, no, you're telling me what I can and can't do. You can't tell me what I can and can't do. And I'm like,
we have that in almost everything else.
I'm like, well, literally, like this building right now, I'm sure there is some sort of filter regulation that whoever this HVAC company is did not want to pay for to keep us in here breathing healthy air. I'm sure there's a cheaper gas they can use to cool this room that will probably cause cancer.
Yeah. Talk about FAFO. I mean, if you cut enough, you're not going to be happy drinking poopy water. I'll tell you that much.
Shit.
Speaking of water,
yeah,
like my sequitur.
Give it to me.
One of the last things I want to get into is the data centers.
Oh yes.
I know you've probably
I've deep dived on this. Yes,
got into some of this and stuff. I have a friend. He's a gym member and he works for Dominion Energy.
Okay.
If you're from the state of South Carolina, you remember that Dominion Energy tried to stand up a nuclear facility that there's all kinds of bullshit. Corruption and just lack of ability and all kinds of shit going on with that. Anyway, that's old news. But he was specifically talking about solar, because solar in our state was a big deal a few years ago, and how it's kind of a problem because there's really no way for the solar energy that people kind of they put on their houses. They use it. But then, they're not using it at night because they don't typically have ways to store it. But the energy companies don't really have a way to receive the energy.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like not consuming as much whenever you're using your solar energy. And that's just kind of how it goes. But that's what we're talking about. But what we got into from there was talking about how data centers, and there's different types of data centers.
Yes.
And I was like, man, I should know this shit, but I didn't. So I had to look it up. He was talking about how, use your standard data center that houses like, your iPhone photos. And it's kind of like a thing and it's just there or whatever. Yeah. But then there's the processing data centers that AI uses that consume, in many cases, more energy than the small town that it's in even produces.
100%.
Consuming more water than the town that it is set up in even has.
Because they have the cool service.
Yeah, so people in their homes are like trying to turn the water on and the water's not coming out. Like it's bullshit like that. Or the water's been contaminated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Or slower.
And his thing was he's like an accountant or some shit. But he's like, I don't know how data centers are how energy production in this country can even keep up with it.
Yes. Which
that's a problem.
Fast and quickly becoming a major problem for the world.
Already a problem. Like it's literally a problem right now.
Because it's regulation. It's one of the things that tech companies do not talk about. All tech companies have data centers. All of them. Microsoft, OpenAI.
Yeah, it's all
Google.
Yeah.
Because
the cloud
information.
Where do you think the cloud lives?
Where do you think the cloud lives?
It ain't a cloud, man.
It ain't a cloud.
It's that somebody warehouse eating up all your energy and water.
Somebody else has a hard drive with your shit on it, and they called it the cloud.
We got 12 of them, but yeah,
it's all it is.
Yeah,
and it has to be stored somewhere. And in order for the cloud or any of these services to operate in real time, they have to be fast.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Fast requires size and speed. Size and speed require cooling, housing, temperature control, and build actual functional buildings, which is the part that a government should be responsible for letting the public know when it comes to these systems. When we first found out about the cloud, for instance, we should have, the American public, the really the world, the global public, should have found out simultaneously. In order for the cloud to work, we need bigger, faster data centers also.
That's not what was sold.
We were all just so put it in the cloud.
Yeah.
Apple was really one of the first.
They were.
Right? Because they had the, what do you call it? Your Apple
something, I'm sure.
iCloud.
Yeah, iCloud.
Right? iCloud was kind of like the first one, and then it kind of got into Google Drive, and then it kind of went from there. Because I remember back in the days when people were hacking people's clouds for their photo. Remember that? That was a big thing, like way before like Google Drive became a thing. And my stance, as someone that is a media educator, I think is really important to have the conversation around when those things happen. The public should be notified of both sides, which is one of the reasons why the free press is so important in this country. Right? Because if the manufacturer is not going to tell you, hey, man, we killed 1,000 people this year with the same car that you bought, or we need to build 14 data centers in order for you to use Pilot or Copilot, instead of just saying we're going to offer you Copilot for free, then I think we would be quicker on not only being able to regulate, but also being able to educate the public about how a lot of these systems work. Right? Because here's the thing that I am so frustrated about when it comes to that space is we're forcing everybody to use it. You can't have both. You can't force me to use it and then also not teach me anything about it, or tell me anything about how now we got to have data centers in our town that are eating up more energy, because now energy companies have got to figure out, okay, how are we going to sustain a town and these data? I mean, bro, Texas, what was this, 2-3 years ago? Was this 2 or 3 years ago when Texas had the power issue?
Yeah.
Can they even handle
Who knows?
Another 10, 20 data centers?
Who knows?
If they can't handle the power that they have right now, they're having problems with the grid. And I'm going to tell you what's so...
In a country where we can't actually pull a new nuclear reactor online.
Yeah.
Like, there hasn't been new ones since like the 80s. I actually think it's before that.
I'm going to tell you what's so problematic about that. And I'm guilty of this. When I was first doing my data center deep dive, and I think I watched, there was a story on Vox. There was another, I think it might have been Al Jazeera or something like that. And then I watched a short doc. There's a short doc forgot the name of the filmmaker, about data centers and the proliferation of it, and how it's what's happening now is the sound and vibration from the data centers, because they're building them behind neighborhoods now. And
there's story after story of people just disturbed. They can't sleep
because they can't
sick.
sleep. Yeah, they got to put sound dampening, and then they keep trying to put sound dampening on it, and then people have to put sound dampening on their homes, and it's all these issues. And I remember looking at it, and because I am infected with capitalism and this American version of capitalism, as I'm watching that documentary, I had two thoughts simultaneously. My first thought was, man, we should have known. Somebody should have told us that in order for us to enjoy all of this convenient tech, that we were going to have to pay the price of data centers, energy use, water use, land use, right? My very next thought was, I need to invest in new energy.
Yeah, I know.
And water.
Yeah. I know.
Oh man, how wicked is that? Like, it was my second thought was, what are the new energy companies out there that I can invest in? Because clearly we're gonna need energy. And then what are the water? Not even water.
Where are your virtues, bro?
I was like, water. I need to invest in water systems.
Sir, I have a whole new set of virtues today.
Oh man, how American capitalist is that? Like, I'm gonna fight the issue and then invest in the issue. Like, at the same, kind of as American as
you just explained right all American politics.
I mean, literally. I remember the funniest thing in the world was and I'm surprised the story went away so quickly. To this day, is John Boehner. Like John Boehner was one of the advocates against crime,
I know,
illegal drug use and substance abuse. I mean, he was one of the moral majority. Remember those folks, the moral majority?
I remember old Boehner.
And then the minute he got out of office, he was on the board of a marijuana company. I was like, yo.
Wait, what?
Remember that?
Yeah,
the cannabis company. I was like, I blew my mind. I was like, yo, America is a wild place.
Yeah.
Like you could actually do both. And then here I am, a media literacy educator trying to be the force of good in the world. And I'm watching this about data centers and data and this tech stuff. All I can think about is how can I financially gain?
Amen.
I mean,
we're going to hell. I might as well be rich.
But I think, and again, this is also a space where deregulation is hindering future development. Because wouldn't it be nice if the conversation with Microsoft, Google, all of these tech companies came 20 years ago? The government?
I think, yeah.
Because guess what we could have been doing for the past 20 years?
Yeah.
Working on new energy models.
Yeah, we could.
Together. It could have been public and private entities working on new energy models together, because they could have said, hey, because they know
need this. Yeah.
If I'm forecasting, I know for goddamn sure Google is forecasting. I'm a little tiny small business, barely making $5,000.
They got 5,000 MBAs doing that, man.
Come on, man. They're forecasting for 5, 10, 20 years. They knew. They've been new, because they got to go to their bosses and say, well, how much money do we need for the next 10 years? Well, we need at least 1.4 billion just to build these things, right? Alone. We're not even talking about all the other shit that we do. Yeah. So if that's happening, then why is that conversation not being had? But again, it's because part of the public is being lulled, I believe, into this user agreement world where we're just using and being the people that just want to kick some ass. I just want to kick some ass or see some ass kicked.
Everything's about consumption.
Did you see this? Did you see this argument? See this person dunking this person? Ooh. While meanwhile, data centers are popping up over the last 5 years, the rate has quadrupled. It's not even double.
It's not going to slow down.
It can't slow down, right? Because again,
Zuckerberg himself is talking about building one the size of Manhattan.
The function of businesses is to be profitable. Yeah. And when you have a character trait, all these things tie together. A character trait of a guy like Zuck. Zuck has the character traits of a magnet. Yeah. And what do magnets want? Everything. Yeah. I want to control all of it.
Right.
I want to be vertically integrated. I want to be horizontally integrated. I want to control the servers. I want to control the land, because how can I make the best profit? How can I also be the largest? Bezos is no different.
The same.
Right. And
Sam Altman's the same.
These are same. And for some reason, the public in general, this non-regulation of this space has put us in a place that really is a lot like what happened to U.S. Steel and Rockefeller and all those guys, and I forgot the fuel, U.S. Oil. I forgot the name of the oil company.
Yeah.
Back in the 20s and the 30s, when you had these 4 magnets running Earth, we're kind of walking back into that same world, and regulation is one of the benefits that we actually have at our disposal. Again, if you want to make money, I'm all for making money.
Yeah.
Imagine where we could be if not just making money, adapting people to this new tech society. Bro, at tech schools, they will be teaching people now about this new energy now. Like there'll be these new energy classes at Midlands Tech now.
Right.
If those conversations were had 20 years ago about these data centers that need to be there, there'd be all these different programs, modules. We'll be testing things besides just batteries. Like I don't even know what we could be testing or could be using to support these technologies that could provide assistance to the shift we need to take as a society from industries like coal and all of these new technologies coming about where AI is going to be running things, and we're trying to figure out, okay, well, where are the jobs going to be? It could be in those spaces if the conversations are being had way before we're at already a critical mass. We're at critical mass.
It's too late.
We're at critical mass. If we're not at critical mass when it comes to data center, we will be in the next 12 months. I don't even think it's going to be 2-3 years. I think it's going to be 12 months because Facebook wants to be first. Amazon wants to be first. And then Walmart is going to be like, well, we want to be first. Microsoft is going to be like, we want to be first.
They're all competing
which
for the
means
same
they
resources.
all have to do it fast. We all have to do it right now. We have to beat everybody to market.
Which means you make mistakes.
Of course.
You skip out on any kind of regulation. You do shit under the rug.
Which is why you're getting data centers popping up behind people's neighborhoods. And people can't sleep at night because of the data center. And here's the fucked up part. Here's the fucked up part though. Those same people in those houses that are complaining about not being able to sleep, I bet you they're dreaming.
Oh, you know they are.
I bet you they're on their phone scrolling.
Yeah, they got Netflix.
Isn't that wild? How are they any different from me looking at the data center documentary? I'm watching the video. This is terrible, and how can I invest?
I'm watching it on YouTube, bruh.
Yeah, isn't that? I mean, this is where we are.
I don't think your average human, and I know 90% of the time I don't. Just think about how much you exist on the fucking internet.
Yes,
like you're barely real. You are barely a real person.
And I'm gonna tell you what's even more wilder than that. America isn't even the biggest users.
Oh, I know. We're
not even top 10.
Yeah. Crazy.
When it comes to countries.
Crazy.
When it comes to internet, like being on the internet,
it's like crazy. I know.
We're not even in the top 10.
I know.
It's insane. And this is the world. And again, I think that's why it's important to look at this from a global perspective, because this is the world that we've created. And a lot of this world that we have created is because of not even deregulation, like no regulation.
Well, yeah.
Right.
I was going to say, why do you think all those tech bros were having dinner with Trump?
Come on.
Why do you think they were at his inauguration?
Come on, bro. Like this is ABCs and 1, 2, 3.
Got Tim Apple. We made you this 24 karat gold cup
just for you.
Please don't regulate me.
Yes.
Come on,
Come on, bro. Why do you think they were there?
What do you think Steve Jobs would say about all this?
My profit margin up here.
Yeah, don't fuck with me.
Don't fuck with me, bro.
What do you think Steve Jobs would say about all this?
Oh man.
This is the last bit. But do you I'm a huge Steve Jobs fan.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Steve Jobs for me is like Genghis Khan.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's why I love him.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what I mean?
He needs to be right there.
On one hand, yeah. I'm like, oh man, we should do something about this data center problem. On the other hand, I'm like, I should invest in energy. That's how I feel about Steve Jobs.
Yeah, me too.
Genius, but wow, what a piece of shit person.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But I just wonder what he would say.
I think
he'd be like, off the internet.
I think,
but when you're on the internet, make sure it's an Apple device.
I think if I'm being, and again, I don't think I'm by far the foremost expert on Jobs.
Yeah, I'm not either.
However, admiring him the way I was and reading the books and watching the films and all that I've done, like a lot of people have done. One of the things that's different about Jobs from somebody like Zuck, actually most of the tech bros.
Yeah, they're not. Right? They all want to be him.
They all want to be.
So far from him.
What's the separator? The separator when it comes to Jobs from them is all of them got into the business to make money.
Yeah,
they never got into the business to be magnets, right?
Right.
To be like the people that were in charge of a system. All Jobs was thinking about was systems.
Yeah,
and making systems work better.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's all he was ever thinking about. Is how can this work better? How can this function better? Mm-hmm. How can this be better? Not how can I make the most money? Yeah. Right. Which is how he went broke and rich so many times.
That's right.
Because he didn't give a shit about making money.
Yeah.
He gave a shit about making things better.
The thing. Yes.
And I think if Jobs was here, I think two things at the same time. I think most of what we've experienced at the hands of the Bezoses and the Zuckerbergs would not have happened because they would have saw the evolution of Jobs and then they would have had a better model to follow instead of him dying right before he got a chance to see this part of the work happen. But I also think Jobs would have been going to the government to talk about energy 30 years ago.
He would have.
I think in 2010, when he passed, 08?
Something like that.
I think in 2010, 2012, he's already working with the government.
Yeah, he would have been.
Going, yo, we're going to need, this is what's going to be happening in the next 10, 20 years. We're going to need bigger data centers. We're going to need this. How could we work together to create these systems? And he would have been thinking about it globally.
2011.
2011.
Close. Whatever.
Yeah, so, but he started getting sick around 09 or 10.
Yeah.
But I think that he'd have been creating a global system that were doing two things simultaneously: studying energy development, how to make it smaller, cheaper, faster, how to make it more ubiquitous, because he certainly would have been thinking globally.
He would have. And I just think
at the same time, he'd have been thinking of these private public partnerships that can get on the front end of this.
Yes.
And then at the end of the day, he'd been trying to put an Apple logo on it.
Yeah, of course. I just think about the way he handled music.
Yeah.
Getting music on his devices, where it was, everybody was like, dude, the licensing, it's not possible. And he was just like, hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
And then they're like, how do we get the Beatles on here or whatever? He's like, we're going to call them.
We're going to call them.
It worked.
Yeah, of course.
And he would have done the same thing.
He would have did the same thing.
I know I'm mysticizing him.
I mean, but to some extent, yes. But I think there's something about Jobs as a representative in this discussion that is very important, that again, people miss when we're talking about the character of the person that's over the company, because these are humans running these companies. And there's something devoid.
Yeah.
There's something that has been devoid in the tech bro world. Is these guys are not businessmen.
Right.
These guys became businessmen.
Right.
So the ethos of running a business, the ethos of leadership, they didn't have on the front end.
Right.
They all got on the back end. Whether you're talking about Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whether you're talking about eBay, any of them, right? All of these guys, if you study any of their rises to fame, came from a place of developing a platform to scale or developing a technology to scale, and then ended up in business.
That's right.
And some of the smart ones went and got CEOs, but some of the dumb ones, hello Uber, became CEOs.
Right.
And they were terrible leaders because they didn't know shit about being businessmen.
Like Zuck.
And that's the difference with the Jobs.
I always think about his cards. I'm CEO, bitch.
Yeah.
He had a business card that said that.
But I mean, where's he taking those cues from? He's taking the cues from all of the tech bros before him.
Yeah.
And these guys were Stanford college students or MIT college students or some college student that created a college platform that had the means, whether that was an uncle or a dad or someone that put them in a situation where they are not Bill Gates. They're not Steve Jobs. They're not of the same background at all. And that understanding the character of these people and how they came to be leaders, even like Jeff Bezos, is really important when you're understanding where we are in our relationship to tech when it comes to the world. Because I am almost certain, like when you look at the work Bill Gates is doing now, has been doing for probably the last 20 years, imagine if we had Bill, his rise to power was in the 2000s instead of in the 80s.
Yeah, it'd be very different.
It'd be totally different.
Yeah.
We have a better model for these people that are running these companies. And, I'm hoping, my hope is that if Google doesn't do it and Apple doesn't do it and Facebook and OpenAI doesn't do it, I'm hoping that and the government doesn't do it. Yeah. My hope is that we have some sort of Patagonia that pops up, somebody that's going, there's a bigger purpose here than just money. And I thought that's what we are going to get with DeepMind and the guys over there, but they all got gobbled up by Google. So I don't fucking
money
know.
Talks and bullshit walks.
And Mustafa Suleiman and some of the guys over there are really awesome. I mean, the way they're thinking about it is great. But bro, you know, Google writes that check, and they're the guys that are doing all the shit that you don't like too. And it's like that hope. You know, it's possible. You know, you can scale really quickly in this tech environment, so it's possible that we. And what by Patagonia, if anybody's listening, I specifically mean a company that is not structured to care about profit.
Right.
A company that's structured to only care about good.
Yeah, a lot of people love
using money for good. Mm-hmm. And I've admired their business model for such a long time. And, you know, that self-regulation of a company, I think is essential to the tech space. I also personally think is a smarter way to do business. You know, do you need to make quadruple million?
Yeah, no.
Billion? Yeah. You really don't.
How much do you need?
How much do you need?
Yeah.
You know, and It's not always about the shareholders. It's not always being first to market. Sometimes it's about the common good. And if the government can't do it and the tech bros won't do it, hopefully we'll have a tech Patagonia somewhere in the world that'll pop up and start.
Sure, nice.
It'd be nice, I think.
Dude, that was a wild ride.
Wasn't it though?
2-episode wild ride. There's probably so much more, but
no, man,
I appreciate your brain and I appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate you having the space, man, and having me on, Gene. And I just think that I hope that you have a whole episode, or at least go revisit an episode about the warrior mindset.
I'm gonna put that out.
I think right now is a great time for that.
I think so too.
For you to break that down. I think coming from someone like you with your background and what you've seen and done, and regardless if it's just Columbia, South Carolina or not, I think it's guys like you. And to be honest, hopefully that can be something that I'm sure you're connected to other guys that believe in it. And hopefully I can trickle over to people like Joe Rogan, because I feel like Joe understands what it takes to be a real warrior. And he's been part of that slippery line for so long. This is a great opportunity for him to come back in and say, hey, no, that's not what the warrior mindset is all about.
Yeah, it really is.
This is what it's about. And I think guys like you that represent that, military guys as well, I think this is a time where we could really use your voice in the world.
Yeah. Amen, bro.